doing something, she is doing something. That words come go to this place, but not go into the hearts and minds of the children. So the effective communication is very, very important. So what should we be done to language in our class? Important. These two are very, very important. How many of you are interested in movies? Movies. Just movies.
I don't see, but I am interested.
Everybody is interested. Everybody is interested in movies. Everybody is interested in movies. If I ask you who is your favorite hero or who is your favorite heroine, you can come up and say that this is my favorite hero because of these qualities. But when you see, if somebody says that Ram Charan is my favorite hero, if you say that Allu Arjun is my favorite hero, or if you say that Junior NTR is my favorite hero, if you say XYZ, when you strongly believe that they are your favorite heroes, I ask you one simple question. Go back to the first movie of the same hero, not the last movie of the same hero. You go back to the first movie of the hero. What's the first movie of that Allu Arjun?
Gangotri.
Pardon?
No, Dad.
Gangotri. Gangotri, you have knowledge. And you have communication as well. You have knowledge and communication, Gangotri. So, my next question is, as a hero, I talk about as a hero. My next question, is it not the first movie? No, because some discussion is going on among the teachers that, Daddy, I'm not talking about child artist, as a hero. As a hero. So Gangotri, as far as my knowledge is concerned, Gangotri. So let me know why I have given this example to you, please. You go back to his first film. His last film was, you go back to his first film. How his action was in the first film? Was it like how he acted in the last film? Do you find any difference between the first and last? A sea change in the action. A sea change. Sea change means here? It's a lot of change, a big change. Unimaginable change is called a sea change. A big change. Dialogues, fluency in delivering dialogues, and the right action at the right time, accuracy. He acquired all, not in the first film, but in the latest film. Like I said, but in the latest film, after having a span of journey of some 10 years, 15 years. Am I right? Am I right? Am I right? I have given this example to say one important thing. I'm talking about this effective communication. In the beginning, your communication definitely not accurate, definitely not correct. But after some years of practice, will you remain the same? Or you will get some what we call accuracy and fluency. You will get accuracy, you will get fluency, and you will get ease in communicating in your classrooms. So I have taken that example. The reason is speaking in English, communicating in English, and effectively communicating in English is not an overnight job. It's not an overnight job. Definitely, it's not an overnight job. It needs a lot of practice. It needs a lot of academic years. It needs a lot of batches of practice. I remember pretty well in the 1994 November 4th when I was standing before 25 students in intermediate classroom. I could teach only 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, I stopped the class and left the class. I was given a class of taking 45 minutes. That was my first class. That was my first experience as a teacher in the classroom. I prepared pretty well. Almost I did overnight preparation for that class. But I could stand only 10-15 minutes of time before the students. And after that, simply I left the class. Simply I left the class. By the time I left the class, I was completely wet in sweat. I was completely wet in sweat by the time I left the class. You know the reason why? You know the reason why? Fear is one reason. Lack of confidence is one reason. Lack of communication is one reason. Lack of ability of facing the children, students is another reason. And lack of common sense of handling the class is another reason. Though I prepared pretty well some hours together to handle 45 minutes of class, I could manage it only for 15 minutes. After that, like a defeated soldier, I left the class. Like a wounded soldier, I left the class. And everybody laughed at me. The students laughed at me. There was one lecturer sitting in the class observing me, like how you are observing me now. And he laughed at me, and he came out of the class. And you know what he did at the time? He took me to his room, office room, and he patted me. He patted me until I was almost what you call, my heart sank to my boots. My heart sank to my boots, and I was utterly disappointed. And I lost all confidence on myself. I was almost collapsed in stage, mentally collapsed. That fellow, that sir, he patted me. Chava, congratulations. I am Chava Srinivas, and all people call me Chava. Chava is my surname, and I am known as Chava. Chava, congratulations. I thought he was mocking me. You know what is mocking? Ridiculing, teasing. I thought he was teasing me. And again he said, congratulations, Chava. Why, sir? Why, sir? I left the class like a severely wounded soldier. Why you congratulate me? Then he said, he is senior most faculty of English. He said, you were there 15 minutes. In my first class, I was there only 5 minutes. That's why I said, after 5 minutes, I could not stand before the children, before the students. So you are better than me. You are better than me. Then I got some confidence. Oh, this fellow stood only 5 minutes. I stood before the students 15 minutes, so definitely I am better than him. But he lied. That is called a white lie. You know what is a white lie? You know what is a lie? Which is not true is lie. A white lie means a lie which is not harmful to anybody. Which is not harmful to anybody. So he made a white lie just to give me confidence, just to make me bold, just to encourage me to continue in the profession of teaching. If he could not do that on that day, I would not have studied like this. So language teaching, using English language is not so easy. It needs a lot of practice. It needs some time. But only thing is here, we should have that zeal of teaching in English. And we should have that zeal of empowering ourselves in using LSRW skills effectively in our classrooms. Whether you are a science teacher or a math teacher or a social teacher or English teacher, or whether you are a guest speaker like me, but you should have that what we call command over this LSRW skills: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. That command or the fluency or the ease in using these LSRW skills is possible only with one thing. The first thing is practice, second thing is practice, and third thing is also practice. Practice and practice and practice. Where to practice? When to practice? How to practice? You are so lucky, including me. We are so lucky. Because if you want to play cricket for 1 hour, you need to go some play zones. You need to pay 1,000. For 1 hour, 1,000 for TV. You know, recently, so many play zones have come up in cities. So you can play basketball, you can play volleyball, you can play cricket, you can play shuttle, this and that. For every 1 hour, you need to pay some amount. That is 1,000. Pay and practice. What is that? Pay and practice. Pay and practice. Pay and practice. That's a costly practice. We should be so rich, we have the practice, costly practice. How much you are paying here to get practice? What is your practice field? If I'm a cricketer, my practice field is play zone. If I'm a teacher, what is my practice field? My classroom. Who are my audience or spectators? My students. They pay and practice. Now here, get pay and practice. Get pay and practice. We are not paying money to take a class. So suppose this is the classroom. This is one platform. Isn't it? For this platform, now I am practicing communicating my knowledge. What I am doing now? I am not perfect. I am practicing. I am practicing. You are my audience now. I am talking to you. So I got a platform at free of cost for 1 hour to communicate what I know to you. So teachers, when to practice, and how to practice. The only answer is our school and our classroom. It's a free practice for us. Unpaid practice for us. Unpaid platform for us. Even for that, we are paid. You may ask, sir, we are teaching and they are paying. Okay, this equation is okay. We are teaching and they are paying. This equation is okay. But to empower yourselves in teaching, we need to practice. The only practicing platform for us is classroom. So when to practice? In the classroom. Where to practice? In the classroom. How to practice? You teach. You teach to your children. How this what we call Allu Arjun got practice in the first film to the latest film. Think of that. Think of your favorite hero, or heroine, or a cricketer, or a player. So in the course of time, when you start using the language in the classroom, first it can be a rough and raw language. It can be a rough and raw language. You know what is a rough and raw language? A rough and raw language has 100% our mother tongue influence. 100% that though you speak in English, it looks like, and I listen to it like Telugu. It sounds like Telugu to me. Though I was speaking in English, it sounds like Telugu. The reason is the influence of mother tongue. There's nothing wrong in it. Influence of mother tongue. But in the process of practicing this, slowly we just leave this mother tongue influence. We turn up to be a fluent English